guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Anu and I am a third year medical student at St. George's University. You are watching Journey to MD. So today's video will be about how to decide what Caribbean medical school to go to. Some of you have reached out to me in my DMs to ask me what I thought about this medical school versus this Caribbean medical school, and how I went about deciding that SGU was the right school for me. So I have a couple of things that I think you should look out for when you are deciding on what Caribbean medical school to go to, and we're going to go through them right now. But before we do, have you subscribed? If you have not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe, and also hit the notification bell so you get a notification every time I post. Also, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up because it's going to be a good one, okay? So let's get into the video. The first and most important criteria to look for when you're deciding on what Caribbean medical school to go to would be the accreditation. So if you want to practice in the US or Canada, and I believe the UK as well, there are certain accreditations that you want to make sure that your school has. In the United States, you want to make sure your school's accreditation is recognized by ACCM, and in Canada, you want to make sure it is recognized by CAAM-HP. So there are lots of accrediting agencies and there are different types of accreditations that different schools can get, but ACCM only recognizes, and I have the notes down, so I'm going to go ahead and read it now. So ACCM only recognizes ACCM, CAAM-HP, and NVAO. So you want to look for those accreditations when you're looking at your Caribbean medical school. The reason this is important is because ACCM has released a new rule that starting in 2023, I believe it's been pushed to 2024 now because of the pandemic, but I will confirm and put a card somewhere on the screen so you know for sure. But ACCM would not let any medical student or medical graduate of a school that's not ACCM certified to sit for the US board exam. So those are the USMLE exams, basically. So again, if you would like to practice in the US, then you want to make sure that your school is certified by the accrediting agencies recognized by ACCM or CAAM-HP. The second thing to look out for is if the graduates can practice in all 50 states in the United States. California and New York, to be specific, have different licensing requirements. So you want to make sure that the school is recognized by the NBC, which is the Medical Board of California, and approved by NYSED, which is the New York State Education Department. So if the school is licensed by NBC and NYSED, then most likely you can practice in all 50 states of the United States. If the school is approved in California, there are 10 other states that follow California's requirements. So those states basically fall under that, and that's taken care of. And usually if it's approved in New York, then you can practice in the other 30 states as well. So that's, again, good to know. If your school is not California certified or California approved, there are 30 other states in the US that you can practice at. But again, this is something to look out for if you are from California or you want to practice in any of those 10 states that fall under the California requirements. The third thing that I think is important to look out for is the USMLE first time takers pass rate. If the school you're looking to go to is being shady and is hiding that number, then don't do it. Don't do it. Run for your life. That is definitely a huge red flag. Don't do it. Don't go near there. Most Caribbean schools are very proud of the percentage and they tend to want to put it out there. So if they're not putting it out there, it means it's not a good number. Also, knowing that percentage helps you understand what the curriculum is like. If you do want to practice in the US and take the US board exams, then you want to make sure you're going to a school that has a US centered curriculum, so that you know that the curriculum is preparing you for the USMLE exams, and then you can take it and be successful. Yes, of course, passing the USMLE exams is definitely very, very dependent on you. It's probably a lot more dependent on the individual student than the school, but it also helps to have a school that is preparing you towards that exam. For example, I go to SGU, and SGU's curriculum is US based, and so every subject, everything we did in SGU was gearing us to take the USMLE Step 1 exam, and I definitely found that helpful in preparing for the Step 1 exam, which I did take last year, and I do have a video on how I studied for that. If you guys want to go ahead and check it out, I'll leave it up in the cards above. The fourth thing to check for is to find out if the school is approved for Title IV federal student loans. For my US citizens who plan to take federal loans to pay for their medical education, not all Caribbean medical schools fall under the requirements of the US Department for giving out those federal loans. So make sure you are completely sure that your school or the school you're thinking of going to falls under and meets those requirements. If it does not, then you might have to find another way to pay for it, or you could find another school that is Title IV approved. Number 5 is to look at the attrition rate of the school. Attrition rate basically means the dropout rate. Caribbean schools are notorious for being easy to get into but hard to stay in, and that's because they are for profit, so they do want more students to come in, and they can take your tuition, and eventually if you do not do well, then they let you go. So you want to check that before you go into the school. If it's very high, if the school has a high dropout rate, again, that's a red flag. Well, to be honest, a lot of students who do end up going to Caribbean medical schools tend to think that they would have it a bit easier over in those schools, but that's not true at all. But then there's also the part of, we want your money, so we'll admit you and then kick you out if things don't go well. Looking at this would also help you to understand what the student wellness life is like in the school. Another thing to look out for is where clinical placements are done in the school. So if you want to practice in the United States, then you need to go to a school that does clinical placements in the United States. This helps with residency applications because the interviewers want to know that you've had some experience in their healthcare system before they allow you into the healthcare system. If you want to practice in the United States and you have done most of your rotation in the United States, then they know that you understand what the healthcare system is like and you are able to integrate better than someone who did most of their rotations in a Caribbean country, for example, and is trying to get into the United States. It's just, it doesn't translate well for them. So to help yourself, make sure that you know where most clinical placements are done in the school that you're going to. And my last point would be that you want to know what percentage of fourth-year students get placed or get matched into residencies. This is important because medical school is a huge investment. You want to make sure that you understand that, your investment will yield a profit at the end of the day, and profit would mean getting placed into a residency and then eventually going on to specialize or become a doctor in the field of your choosing. So if you are seeing a school that has a low fourth year to residency percentage, then you might not want to go to that school because that shows that they're obviously not doing something well. That's another thing to look out for. You don't want to have spent 4 years and then find out that at the end you're not able to get placed. That's just thousands and thousands of dollars that have basically yielded to nothing. And, that's not your story, definitely. But that's, again, something to look out for. That's it for today's video, guys. I hope it was helpful. If it was, go ahead and give me a thumbs up and share this video because someone else might need the information. If you have not subscribed already, make sure you subscribe. That's it, guys. I will see you next week. Bye. Have a great day.